Welcome to Recipe to Success, the show where we sit down with entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds to learn more about their journey to success. My name is Humza Zahoor, CEO and founder of Social Awaken. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of Recipe to Success. Today I'm joined by, I would say, the GOAT of the podcast industry. Tazer, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I think this one's going to be a little bit different for the audience that listen to Recipe to Success, because obviously you come from the podcasting world, but you've also got other things going on as well, which some people still maybe don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe older people from back in the day, maybe they appreciate that a little bit more. So let's just go into straight the story. Who's Tazer?
Tazer, Nigerian, British born, grew up in northwest London. Went to Queen's Park Community School in, obviously, Queen's Park. But I've always been like someone who knew a lot of people, right? From primary school, went to Mitchell Brook, grew up around Church Road, Stonebridge, St. Ralph, so know most of them around there. And so fast forward through that, age 14, everyone was kind of just getting into the grime. I was in my age group, getting into grime, writing in their lyric books in school. I needed a name. Obviously my real name wasn't enough, so there was an older on my estate. His name's Laser. Anybody who's heard North Wheezy, he's the guy that's lost on the tune, so it was a no-brainer. I swapped the L for T, Tazer. That's how Tazer was born. And then from then I've just always wanted to be, I've always had a knack for networking, being around people, and as I got older I realized that I wanted to get into events. So that was the first, no, let me rewind. I got into clothing first. So if anybody remembers 4Ts came out around the same time as Benja.
Okay.
Yeah, Benja's like a big brother to me. So we started around the same time. Benja first, and then when I saw what he was doing, I was like, oh snap. Asked him for advice and I started my thing. So 4Ts, I'm bringing it back as well. It's basically like a 10, Amazing. 11 year anniversary. Sick. Yeah. So I'm bringing that back. I'm working on that currently. So had a clothing line. Every time I brought units out, sold out. Like people were just rocking it. Some people still have it today. That's how loyal mad it was in ends, yeah, and loyal, yeah. So brought that out, built something from that, and then went to London Met Uni at 21, 22, then decided to start events at around 21, 22. I used to do like one-off pop-ups in Shoreditch. And then one day, me and my business partner today, Matthew Bridgman, large him up, we went yo-yos in West London, Notting Hill Art Club. I used to go frequently, like every Thursday I was there. They used to have like a hip hop and R&B night. One day we went there for, I can't remember what the function was, but a lot of people that we knew were there. So let's say the venue holds about 210. I, honest to God, said hello to about 180 people. So in my head I was like, if I know this many people in an event on a Thursday, why can't I do this? And he said the same thing. So we came together, done our research, decided to take over a venue in Whitechapel called Rhythm Factory at the time, and that's when Faded was born. So Faded was born, I think 2011 or 2012, my 23rd birthday basically. Invited all my friends, family, blah blah, and we smashed it. And then that's how Faded was born. Literally every month since 2011 or 2012. I'll need to double check. So that's how Faded was born. And then just coasting through. Now I'm known as the event guy who throws parties and stuff. Coasting through, obviously had ups and downs, which we will get into. And then 2016, I'd say, had a conversation with, obviously, Keith and Marv, the guys behind Free Shots. Wanted to do a podcast. I just thought that I've experienced so much stuff I would like to share with the people. And Chucky was doing Halfcast. I said, Halfcast is sick, one of my favourite podcasts. So I said to Chucky, listen, I see you're doing this podcasting thing. Let me come on and see what it's like. So I went on one of the episodes and it was so calm. Obviously, me and Chucky go way back as well.
I think I remember that episode as well.
Yeah, early days. This is when he was in the studio in Acton, in the basement. So Chucky was just, you know how Chucky is already. So Chucky it was just smooth. I was like, hold on, I can do this. I said, Chucky, I'm getting involved. He's like, yeah, bro, like no one else is doing it. Come. So obviously Marv and Keith were interested. So then we started going to the same studio, recording Free Shots. And literally when we put Free Shots out, 2016, April, boy, it just caught fire. Literally.
Did you know Marv and Keith before?
Yeah. We met through a mutual friend. So I followed Keith on socials because his social presence was mad. And then me and Keith had a mutual friend, and through that mutual friend is how I met Marv. And obviously when we go out to events and stuff, we used to link up and blah, blah. So we just built a rapport that way. So coming together made sense because I didn't want to do anything with, not that I was against it, but it just made more sense to kind of collaborate with someone who's from South, someone who's from East. So Keith's from South, Marv's from East, I'm from Northwest. Coming together, it just made sense. Different perspective, yeah. And then Free Shots literally just took off, and then, here we are today.
So at one point, you were known for Faded. Do you think now it's got to the point where people know you more for Three Shots?
I guess it depends who you ask, because a lot of people do come to Faded based on hearing it on Free Shots. So I'm my own marketing, PR, essentially. Yeah. When it comes, because sometimes I sit on the door and actually work the door on my events, and people come up to me and big me up for Free Shots, and I'm like, so you've heard this off the back of Free Shots. So it's a testament to how much they enjoy Free Shots. I actually want to check out his events. So I mean, it's the same with, they have events as well, as in Marvin Keith Lux Sundays, and a lot of people go there that listen to the pod. So I guess it just depends on who you ask. A lot of people remember me from 40s, Faded. Yeah, so it just depends on who you ask.
It's funny because there's a lot of podcasters and YouTubers out there that don't necessarily make the most of the attention and passing it over to another business. You've done that from early, and you did it in reverse. You started the businesses before, and then the podcast came along, and then it just flourished from there.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy more now? Do you enjoy more the business side of things, running the events, or do you enjoy the podcast more?
It's a difficult one, because bear in mind, at my events, I don't actually work my events, so I do all the.
But you get all the attention, like people. But
it's like, do you know what it's like? It's like asking the CEO, did you prefer when you were hands on doing it by yourself, or did you prefer working with a team? Like, there's going to be different points of what he's doing, different parts of what he's doing. Is it the generating the new ideas? Is it building the idea? Is it watching the idea flourish? Is it stepping back? And do you know what I mean? So there's different parts. There's times. Okay, let me give you an example. One time, I think it was the year Free Shots was born. 2016, my birthday. We did Coronet in Elephant Castle. Now that venue is 2,300 capacity. Yeah, we did 1,300 tickets in advance. Opened the doors, and 800 people came on the door and paid.
Wow.
So I'm on the stage and I'm looking into the crowd, and there's 2,300 people, and in my head I'm like, these lot are here for me. I said my brand, but it's my birthday. Like, I can't lie, one tear dropped, because I was like, this is mad. And then also after that, we got into negotiations with different ticketing sites, and then we met a promoter through that one ticketing site called Skiddle, and he said in order for him to do the same numbers, he had to book 56 DJs. It was like a house rave, whereas we done it with no. If you see the flyer, you don't know who's DJing there. It was just Faded, 3rd year anniversary or 4th year anniversary, whatever. Tazer's birthday. That's it. And then boom, tickets are online selling. So when I see stuff like that, that's what kind of makes me think, you know what I'm doing is happy. And for me, when it comes to the event side of things, my main thing is just bringing people together and having a good time. That's the essence of any single event that I do. Bear in mind, I've done comedy shows, I've done live poetry nights, I've done concerts, I've done raves, I've done warehouse parties, I've done house parties. Like, any event you can think of, I've done. And none is more favourable than the other. It just depends on the occasion. So for me, the main thing is I enjoy bringing people together. Same with Free Shots. When we first started doing podcasting, no one was doing live shows. And I decided, okay, cool, let's do a live show. They're like, these guys looked at me like, what are you talking about? We're not comedians. I'm like, yeah, but if people are going to lock into us talking every Friday, they're going to want to see us speak live. Oh, Tazer, you're a madman. So, all right, cool, let's try it.
It's a moment of genius.
I mean, if it works, it works. Do you know what I mean? Then we've gone from Sync, 200 capacity, to Tropicana, 550, 600 capacity, to Shepherd's Bush, 1,200, to the most recent one, Hammersmith, 3,600. And that is literally just us coming out and you asking, for example, being a member of the crowd saying, Tazer, how was your Saturday? And me just talking about it. So the transition has been crazy, and it's literally been phone calls amongst people like ourselves, and then actually just pursuing the idea and making it happen.
You know what it is? I think because before, like people that were living just normal lives, and they would go to work and they'd come home and they just want to watch something or forget about their own lives. They just want to indulge in something else. I think podcast has become one of those things that has taken over even music to a certain extent, and other cultures like Netflix and things like that, because you are listening to people that are relatable to you like whatever podcast you're choosing, it's normally based on who's relatable to you.
Yeah.
And then you're just hearing their stories and you're forgetting about your own day, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it's become so powerful. But in terms of the events, what made your events successful? Because there's so many people that do events and they can't even get, even if they've got like PR behind it, even if they've got artists behind it, they can't get people to the actual door.
Nah,
so what made, because this was before you had a personal brand to a certain extent. You were known in the area, but it was before, I'm guessing, Instagram.
I guess, well, 21, 22, I used to roll with Napa, our Cracker Skull on Forward. And he used to be a promoter in West End. And let's say, I think around 22, 23, I was in West End with this guy, I think 4 times a week for a whole year. Literally. All the West End clubs you could think of, I've been there. Every single one of them. Vendome, Funky Buddha, Aura, Bond, District, Libertine, Tape. I'm going way back. I'm talking about, there was one on Soho called DIU, Moonlight, Stanza, Bar Rumba, Penthouse, Stanza, Storm. Like, I've been to all of these clubs in West End, and one thing stood out to me. I do not like people being pretentious. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. I'm like, I don't have to buy a bottle. I don't have to wear shoes. I don't have to suck up to the owner. I don't like stuff like that. So when I decided to do my own event, I was like, listen, there's going to be an event where, and also they never played hip hop and R&B at the time.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing. If you were charting,
even US?
Nah. If you were charting, as in if you were commercially successful, as in, so let's say Jay-Z might drop a song and it's on the charts, then you might hear that in the club. But just to play Meek Mill, French Montana, you're not hearing it. So I'm like, hold on a second. We're only playing it in our cars, and all the mixtape songs couldn't hear it in the clubs. So I'm like, why not? Like, people like these songs. So that's what Faded was about. Like, we'll play Tiger, Lil Wayne, Drake, Trey Songz, all of these people. Of course we're going to play. And even the UK artists at the time. So let's say, who was popping? The uni lot. So, you know, you got like the Mr. Silvers, the Tinos, you know, that sound. You weren't hearing that in West End. So, and that's the only places you could go raving. So when we started our night, it was like people immediately were drawn to it because of that, the music. Then you got cheap drinks. We're not charging West End prices because we're in a club in Shoreditch, £5 for a double, or something stupid like that. So you're getting wasted. And then on top of that, you can wear what you want. There was no dress code. As in, there's a dress code, but it's not as strict as shoes and waistcoats. And no, you can wear what you want, as in trainers. Girls can wear
smart
jeans.
Casual sort of thing.
Not even smart casual, just casual. You can even wear a tracksuit to some degree at the time. You just come and behave. That's all we cared about. So you've got that. Then you've got, I can come with my brethren. There's no like, if I'm coming with £5, I need to buy a table. There's none of that. Just pay your £5 or £10 entry, come in and vibes. All of that added together, it was a no-brainer at the time. It's like, why wouldn't I go? Do you know what I mean? So then when that started happening, word of mouth is what kind of made Faded get to where it gets. Because it's like, you'd go out and you'd be like, what, man, this, da-da-da-da, I met this, da-da-da. Cool, I'm coming next week. Then you'll tell someone, and literally word of mouth just got to the point where everyone was like, you know what, this is the place to be. And then I saw other nights start launching and building off the back of that, realizing that, we can go Shoreditch and the high fee is not too crazy. It's not £1,000 or £2,000 like West End. Some of these venues are getting for £500. And if you hit a particular bar spend, which is relatively low, you get your £500 back. So technically, you've done an event for free. So when I realized that, I'm like, listen, this is what I'm getting into. So and once you nail it, it's a winner. Some people don't know the business side of things, and I'm not here to explain.
Of course,
but there were some parts of the business that people didn't get, and certain ways you can negotiate your contracts to benefit you as opposed to the venue, but the venue still will be happy. So we learned that on our feet. So as we kind of progressed, me and Matthew are very smart people. That's how we've managed to keep Faded successful this long. And they're able to adapt. Even with Corona, we still managed to have sold out events. All the events we've had during Corona have been sold out. Just because we've managed to adapt and appeal to people like you. You're the people. So I mean, as opposed to me being greedy, it's more to do with, I know what I want when I go out. Let me provide it. I remember I don't own a venue. So my best interest isn't the venue, as in the bar.
Yeah, true.
My best interest is making sure my customers are happy. So I think that's what it is.
On paper, that sounds like a great model. Like, you've got the awareness, you're able to get people to the event, and you've created something that didn't exist at that time. But one of the things that people struggle with events, especially raves, is the trouble that comes with it. So how did you keep that contained? Because I think that's one thing that people, even if they make money before the event starts, they lose it in the end.
I think you just know who you're inviting. There's been times where I've had to kind of like not message a certain type of crowd just because I know a particular type of crowd is coming, and I've had to do that actively, like, or message certain man and say, listen, are you planning on coming to my event? Because if you're coming to my event, then that means he can't come to my event and stuff. You just got to be mindful, because at the end of the day, I need to protect my brand. Sometimes you have the uncomfortable conversation where you deny people entry purely because they might be too drunk, or you're very hands-on in a sense of, when you do sell tables, you kind of map out the venue, and then you figure out where the tables are. You put a particular type of person on this table, and if he is going to cause any trouble, it's going to reduce if there's girls either side of him. Then you put another set of guys on another. Like, you don't.
That's that businessman coming.
Yeah. There's certain things you do. You go to the venue, you kind of map out what you're going to do, and then you do that beforehand. Where some people, they don't think of stuff like that. So what you've got now is a whole section with just bare guys, and then alcohol. That's not a good mix, and no girls. Before you know, it's like, what are you looking at? Before you know it, there's trouble. And I'm the type of person where I kind of get involved. I'm very hands-on. So if I see something kind of brewing, I want to get involved and say, listen, what's the problem? Like, and try to squash it. I believe in the customer comes first. So if I need to buy someone a bottle or buy someone a drink, I'll do that. So I mean, we have stuff like, if it's your birthday, we give you a free shot. Before, we used to do this thing where we find out whose birthday it was and we'll send you a birthday card. And then when you open the birthday card, we'll have a ticket free.
Wow.
All of this stuff is people that love it. Oh my God, we're getting faded. And literally, a birthday will bring 10 people. It's a no-brainer.
Is that going like above and beyond for your
Yeah, because I believe the customers are important. At the end of the day, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for the people watching us or supporting us. So any way I can make them feel special, that's what I do. And I think that's what's kind of helped my brands kind of move forward.
What was your craziest story from Faded, if you could think of one?
The most recent one, basically, we worked with these two guys from Thailand, brothers, yeah.
Okay.
They ran a festival called, Festival. So festival with a V. Chris Brown was the headline. The flyer came out, no one believed it. Everyone was like, oh, this is fake. I said, you know what? I don't mind sacrificing £100 just in case it's real. So I bought tickets. Festival came around. I flew out to Rotterdam. Me and my boy went to Rotterdam. The festival was real.
Wow.
It was mad. I was like, oh, snap, Chris Brown. You can imagine the crowd. It was a sick festival. I left the festival. I was like, yo, I enjoyed that festival. Let's get in contact. Let's see if we can work with them in some capacity. Go into contact with them. They were like, when I say they were just like some rich guys who just live in life. They were moving like Calvin Harris. Like everything was, they used to date DJs as well. They just didn't care. They're just cool. So we're like, all right, cool. They're like, next year you can jump on board and we'll work together. We're like, oh shit, sick, cool. Got involved. The next year went well. So we were part of the festival now. So in the UK, we were like the UK representatives of this festival. Sick. The next year now, they got into a little madness. So they split. So now one became Oh My, the other one became Vestaville. Don't know which brother was which. I don't know, but we decided.
Brothers, they split up.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of beef they got into, whatever. But they split. So Oh My went on and done his thing in Rotterdam. Vestaville decided to build a festival in Belgium. So they gave us a better deal. So we decided to team up with them. Cool. So we're selling tickets now. A lot of people have bought tickets. I'm promoting it on free shots. People are buying tickets in it. On the day we were leaving, yeah, is it Trey Songz or ASAP Rocky? I think it was Trey Songz. Trey Songz has gone to the site and gone, hold on, there's nothing here. And bear in mind, Fire Festival just happened. So everyone's a bit skeptical about festivals. Yeah, everyone's on edge about these festivals that got the crazy lineup, but it's come out of nowhere. Because literally Fire Festival documentary just dropped. So I'm like, please don't be Fire Festival. Please, I got my name attached to it, blah, blah. Some of the industry, IG baddies have gone over there. They've snapped their accommodation. Terrible. I'm like, oh, this is peak. I said, maybe they got bumped, whatever in it. So we get on our flight to Eindhoven. As soon as we land, I'm talking about the plane just hit the tarmac. My phone gets signal. I see a tweet. The festival's been cancelled. Everyone on this flight is going to this festival. I'm the first person with the news. So I'm sitting there thinking, should I stand up and announce, hey guys, festival's cancelled, and be the one to bear the brunt?
But why did it get cancelled? Because the artist.
The festival wasn't real.
Oh, it wasn't real.
No.
But you got involved thinking that it was like the one you went to.
The Amsterdam one was real. This one was just like, I feel like the brother was, and also the police were looking for him. There was like a mad hunt for this guy. ASAP Rocky said something along the lines of, the stage wasn't suitable for me to perform on, so I'm not doing it. So that's what kind of caused people to kind of look in. Then people started posting videos of them at the site, and it was just long.
So it was a fire festival,
basically. So I'm like, I'm in the airport now, and I'm looking at my business partner like, bruv, what do we do? So literally, the first thing we did was we pressed refund on everybody's.
Wow.
Yeah, all the tickets that we sold, we refunded everyone immediately. Everyone was getting a refund, but the problem is, you get a refund within 3 to 5 days. So people are messaging me saying, I'm in Amsterdam, I'm in Belgium, what do I do? I'm like, you know what, I don't know what you want me to tell you. All I can do is apologize, but it's not my fault. Cool. Getting so much DMs, but people telling me, okay, so what I said, listen, I'm not going back home. So what do we do? Literally found a way to get to Amsterdam. Like, we got a coach to the train station and got the train to Amsterdam. I can't remember how long it took. And then on the train, I said, hold on, this is a cash loss. How can we make some money back? On the train, we've managed to get in contact with a venue in Amsterdam, tell them we want to throw a rave, because basically a lot of the UK people have gone to Oh My.
Okay.
Anyway, so I can reach them through my Instagram. So we've managed to contact the venue, say, listen, we want to do a night. They're like, we've already got hip hop night. We're like, all right, cool, can we do a guest list? They're like, yeah, sure, because we know them. We've done Faded and Damn numerous times. They're like, yeah, cool. So I've contacted my graphic designer. I said, listen, design me a flyer ASAP. He's decided Faded and Damn, blah, blah, send names. I put the flyer up. Everyone's like, what? I'm not even in Amsterdam yet. I'm still en route. I'm still in transit, yeah? Finally get to Amsterdam. I think, so this is a Friday. So Saturday is the party. By Saturday, we had 900 names. Like literally on my Instagram, people are sending me names. Snapchat, sending me names. And I'm adding it. I'm like, after you go to the festival, this is the official after party. Because it's easier to get in contact with these people via me, because they're UK based. They're going to go to a night that a UK promoter is promoting in Amsterdam, as opposed to a night that an Amsterdam promoter is promoting. So it was easier for me to do so. So I did it. So I'm going to do it. Literally, with a 24-hour turnaround, we're in Amsterdam, we've booked a hotel, and we've gone to the festival. We managed to get tickets last minute, gone to the festival, gone back to the hotel, gone to the event, and literally, the event was rammed. We even managed to get a DJ to play, so the people who came to the night could hear UK music for an hour. And the funny story is, when I was behind the decks, I'm just chilling thinking, I'm hoping everyone's having a good time. The DJ who's from Holland has tapped me and gone, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, because I listen to Free Shots, right? I'm like, oh my God, this is sick. This is so sick. He's like, yeah. I was actually looking forward to you guys coming in. Mad. I looked into the crowd. There's about, I think the night had about 1,500 people. Like, obviously, some people from actually Amsterdam. It's like their usual Saturday night, and that's the hip hop night. But we managed to turn it around.
That's crazy.
Managed to, literally 24 hours. But obviously, people are still in Belgium upset with me.
Of course, yeah.
Because they're like, we don't have our money. We can't just do what you did. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, but do you want me to suffer with you in Belgium? No, I'm going to. So that's the kind of things that me and Matthew do, where we might be in a tight position, but we manage to just hold on and literally just come out and try to make something happen. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's an example of, I don't know many people that would have done that. I know a lot of people would have just accepted defeat, stayed in Belgium, and then flew back to London, and then just said, whatever. We literally said, nope, from Belgium straight to Amsterdam. And even doing that was enough, because we've got a festival to go to now. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to do an event as well. So I did an event, made all my money back, or majority of my money back, and then flew back to London on the Sunday. And literally, it's a story to tell now.
Wow. See, one of the things that I think a true entrepreneur has is they know how to turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's crazy that you went through that story, because even I think early on, like some of the struggles that you went through and stuff like that, you always managed to turn things around.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from? Is that something that you just naturally had, or do you think you can remember like a time where you were younger and you just thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna operate like this?
See, and this is a thing. I don't. It's weird because I always say this to my friends. I always say that to them. Like, listen, when I pass away, God forbid, anytime soon, but just tell my story right. That's all I ask. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, just tell it correctly. One thing I've always said is just self-belief. I've always had that. Like, if I can't do something, I'm honest enough to tell you I can't do it. I'm not going to fight myself to go and learn how to do it if I don't want to do it. And one thing I like to do is throw parties. Like, literally, I like to throw parties. I like to bring people together and have a good time.
No, but it's easy to get demotivated in a situation like
Yeah,
that.
no, 100%. But my thing is, there's no harm in trying. And also, what's the worst that's going to happen?
You're a risk taker, basically.
Yeah, but what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to get told no,
Nothing.
or no one's going to come, or I'm going to lose money.
Can't be worse
Okay.
than what's already happened.
Yeah, so that's how I look at it. I just look at it as what's the worst that's going to happen. And I feel like even when it comes to like normal day-to-day stuff, I'm the type of person, yeah, let's say you've pissed me off. I'm not going to sit back and sulk. I'm going to tell you pissed me off. Whatever happens to our friendship happens, but I'm going to tell you how I feel. Because if the friendship's gonna deteriorate, it's gonna deteriorate anyway because you're pissing me off. I'd rather let you know,
Just keep it real,
so we can. And I've always been like that. I think it's maybe my dad. My dad's always been straightforward. I haven't got time for lies. Just tell me the truth, and then we'll deal with it. And also part of that, it's like I'd rather you be upset with me or be angry with me for the truth as opposed to a lie. I don't like that. Knowing that you feel a certain way, but it's not based on the truth. I don't like that. That would rub me the wrong way. So you're upset with me based on something that isn't true. And I'm just gonna allow it to manifest and become something. I'm not like that. So I think that's the attitude I just have towards life. And when it comes to an event, I'll be honest with you. Listen, it's not popping in there. It's not. But where else are you gonna go? If you know somewhere else to go to, then by all means go. Here's your money. Go. But if you want to have a good night and maybe wait an hour and see if it's going to be popping later, because I can guarantee that there's going to be people here that are just not here yet, then come in. That's the type of promoter I am. I'm not selling it to you, by the way, guys. Then you get in, you've given me your money already, you get in there and it's dead. I'm not that kind of promoter. I'm very, very genuine when it comes to that side of stuff. And I think because of that, people can relate and they just think, you know what, at the end of the day, it's true. Because there's no one's perfect. So there's no perfect event. Do you know what I mean? And also, I just can't be fake. I think that's what it is for me.
That's how you build longevity in business, though, because over time your customers like know what to expect. They also know that you're real as it comes, and at the end of the day, they're not gonna be disappointed. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what makes people come back for Faded, and that's why probably it's got to this point.
Yeah. I agree. Even if you look at Free Shots as well. Sorry to transition into the pod, but the stories that we share on the pod, they're relatable. As much as some of the stories that you could listen to and be like, nah, that's not happened to normal. That's probably happened because you're Tazer. Cool, fair enough. But I'm able to share it to let you know that I've been through these kind of things. And I am a risk taker. Like I do like to push the boat a bit just to see where it could, because you never know. You just never know. Do you know what I mean? This could be a monumental moment if you push this button.
But not enough people take those risks.
I'm pushing the button. We'll figure it out after. We'll figure it after. I'll push it that one.
So before we go to Free Shots, why I wanted to kind of ask why, how you turn a negative into a positive is because obviously we're shooting this on Monday and lockdown's about to happen on Thursday again. And I think a lot of people are dreading the time, even though we've been through it already. It's obviously going to be a difficult time, but I think you have to use that time to turn that negative into a positive. So what are some of the things that we can expect from Tazer that people can learn from that you're going to do in the next lockdown?
Well, I don't know if everybody saw the post that people just reposted saying, be productive during this lockdown. If you come out this lockdown, you haven't learned a new craft, you're a bum. Bullshit. Me? I'll tell you for free what I was doing. I was Netflix and chilling. I didn't read a book. I was watching podcasts heavily. When I say I learn new stuff, I mean, for example, because of the influx of podcasts and interviews, I'm learning new stuff about new people, but all it's showing me is more about me and what I like to do. I don't feel like there's a point of learning something just for the sake of it. If you want to do it, genuinely want to do it, then use the spare time. Use the spare time that you now have to do something you want to do. But don't force yourself to do something.
100%.
Because if you don't like doing it or you don't want to do it deep down, you're not going to give it your 100%. So what's the point? And that's how I see it. I bought a PS4 at the beginning of lockdown because everyone was like, we're going to be gaming. Ask me how many times I've used the PS4. Because I don't want to be a gamer. I don't want to play games. So I bought it because everyone was buying it. But it's sitting on the top of my wardrobe. I've just wasted £300. So that stuff like that is what made me realize I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. Just do what you want to do. I love gym. So I spent money on a home gym because that's something that I can wake up and see myself doing every day. But all the other stuff that people are saying, oh, you should do this because of what you're seeing on Instagram. Nah, man. Anyone who makes you feel funny on Instagram, unfollow them.
Plus, you know, I feel like there's too much pressure on social. Because, for example, for me, like, I know that before the first lockdown, I was working 7 days a week, grinding, running businesses and stuff like that. And so when lockdown first came, I wasn't really thinking about, okay, what can I do productive? I was thinking, you know what, this is the first time I can actually, you know, switch off a little bit. And so many creative ideas came from that because I was actually able to stop the craziness and just breathe. And so I think there's no right or wrong answer. It should just come down to you and what your goals are. And if you feel like you've been overworking, treat yourself a little bit.
Also, you mentioned something. You said that there's so much pressure on Instagram. So me, I don't subscribe to that. I'm on Instagram, yeah. I follow people, I see what's going on, but I don't subscribe to the pressure because 8 times out of 10, the person that's so-called applying pressure to you is probably going to bed upset. They're not happy with their lives.
But how do you actually, like, in real life, make that work? Because I agree with you, yeah? I agree with you.
I think you've got to keep real people around you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You've got to be very, very self-aware and you've got to be very honest with yourself. Like, for example, okay, let's talk about the...
Because you're a public figure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're a public figure. You obviously get a lot more DMs and comments and hate and love, you know, than the average person would. But there's so many people that you tell them that, like, oh yeah, you know what, try to silence the noise and don't listen to it and just focus on you. But I don't feel like even if they hear it, they're not really living by it.
Because they're subscribing to, like, it's a very difficult one because I don't want to kind of dismiss how one feels. I don't want to do that. But I can only speak for me. I see some of the things like there's so many people I follow on socials that I do not like. No, I don't like their social presence. I like them in person. I like when I'm with them.
Okay, it makes sense.
They're totally different online. I don't like them online. But I can't tell them that. Because for some reason they feel
they're
like...
a bit bougie online.
Whatever the case may be. They might be bougie. They might be loud. I don't know what they might be too... I don't know what the case may be. But there's some people online that I follow that my brethrens. I got love for them. But who they are online, I don't like them. So in my head, when I sit down with you, you don't even show me who you are. So I can't even get onto you. Be like, why did you... That's who you are online, innit? So how can someone neutral who doesn't know me or you, how can I now tell them don't subscribe to him online? Because that's not really him. Do you know what I mean? You motivate that person. Whatever you're doing, you're motivating that person. That person's going out telling,
it's working for them.
Yeah, so it's a very difficult one. All I can do is speak for me and say, listen, I don't subscribe to it. And by not subscribing to it, this is how I live my life. And this is what people deem as successful. Me, success is making sure me, my family, and my friends are good. That's my definition of success. And happy as well. Because you could have all the money in the world. If you're not happy, it's pointless. So for me, it's more about making sure everybody's happy. And baseline, you know, you can't save everyone, but baseline, everyone's content. There's times where obviously I might have done excessive stuff, like on Dubai. I didn't need to, but I went to Dubai randomly because why not? But then I didn't see me going to Dubai as shitting on the people who can't. Like, that's just me. That person's Dubai could be going to Amsterdam. As long as you take flight and you go somewhere and that's peaceful to you, cool. Another person could be going to Brighton or going to Centre Park. Everyone's different, but don't subscribe to the fact that this person has bought Dior bags, so I have to buy a Dior bag. No, you might just need to buy a new bag. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Don't subscribe to all of this stuff. That's just me. And I say it to my brother. I say it to the man them around me. Whether they listen, it's up to them. But I'm just letting them know that what you see on socials is a lot of it's fake. So I can't get mad at what I'm seeing. You know, like the downside, and this is just me being honest, yeah? The downside of the increase of podcasts and interviews and stuff is that we're hearing stories that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really need to hear, because now it's making me look at you funny.
Like what?
You know that, I can't give you an example off the top of my head, but you know that, for example, people are now talking, because people are talking more, they're telling you how this song came about, or how this music video came about, or what happened, this incident. Do you know what I mean? So now you're hearing, you're thinking, hold on a second, this is how this came about. Or this is the meaning behind this song. Yeah. So I was happy living in that place of ignorance where this song was my jam, but now I'm figuring out this is the reason why you made this song. I don't really listen. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's the downside of it, and what it's forcing people to do is talk, and everyone's just talking. It's like, yo, you don't need to talk about that.
But see, you know what I think that's happened though? I think, you know, part of why I think podcasts have grown a lot and people are just interviewing and things like that, I think it's because not only because of the value that you get from it sometimes, but I think also when you now look at social media compared to where it was like 3-4 years ago, if you were Tazer Black and you didn't have a podcast and you posted cool lit pictures, you still get love. But that person doesn't really know you, so they can't really resonate with you, and they're not automatically going to buy a ticket to Faded because they like your Instagram posts, but there's nothing to really translate who you are.
But now there's a demand for, okay, what's the story behind this post?
Yeah.
Or what's the story behind this video? Now there's a demand for that. Look at I can talk about this because it's public news. Look at Hush Puppy, for example. He was probably the most followed person on Instagram in a short space of time, until it came out that he was stealing.
Instagram got him bagged.
Yeah. He was doing what he was doing, and then that's what got him. But look at that, for example. Everyone was following him, and then all of a sudden, when they realized, how he was getting his money, now you're seeing people saying, can't believe him, but you didn't ask the questions. You just subscribed to the lifestyle based on what he was showing you. But if you go deep down to it, if you turn around and say, cool, I'm selling kids, does that bag now make sense? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you can look at someone's riches and be like, I want that. But you're not looking at how they got there. Do you really want to know how they got there? Some people don't want to know.
But see, don't you think it even affects the people that have already won or they're successful? Because now, like, for example, in the context of Hush Puppy, realistically, he made a lot of money, however he made it. But did he really need to be showing it off on Instagram? What was that doing for him?
No, I don't know what his agenda was. Remember, I don't know. I've met him once.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't?
I met him once, literally. But I don't know what his agenda was.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm saying not specifically him, but I'm saying generally.
Yeah, but that's like everyone. Like, everyone has an agenda. So okay, let's use something that we see on Instagram today. So when people promote booty, remember there was that influx of all these Instagram girls promoting booty that they weren't using. They weren't using them.
Yeah.
So now I have friends, personal friends, who are telling me, this gym thing's long, man. I'm not motivated. I'm just gonna go do the booty. And I'm like, but the booty doesn't work. What do you know? Because that person has 100,000 followers and I have my humble 30k. You don't believe me? Try it. 30 days, no progress. It's not working. I wonder why. Because it's just a laxative. You're just tearing out your insides. The person who's promoting it is not even using it. But because, do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's what so my thing is, if you're not going to go the extra yard to figure out what it is you're buying into, what it is you're subscribing to, then you're just going to wander in this life of social media aimlessly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Did you watch the social thing, Dilemma?
I haven't actually seen it.
Okay.
I've been told to watch it, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Because, I think one thing that I took from that is, like, obviously the platforms, they're benefiting from us staying on the platforms as long as possible. But if you look at social media now, I would say the majority of it is just selling a lifestyle that people don't really live. And if you look at, for example, like, one of the things that I even at my business, we manage some talent influencers and stuff, and one of the things that I always say to them is, don't just do a brand deal for doing a brand deal. Don't do a brand deal because the bag is right. No, do it because you actually believe in the product. Because if you don't and you just do it for the bag, later down the line your followers are going to realize that, and they're going to see they're not going to be as engaged if you promote something else. So be true to yourself. But I think the reality of the scope of, like, where young people are is they're solely just looking at the glitz and glamour. They're not looking at, like you said with Hush Puppy, like, they're not looking at what they're doing to get there. They're just trying to see, okay, I want to get there. Even if you look at the kids, like, when I was in school, like, it was cool to have a JD bag. Like, you bought some trainers and you were wearing the JD bag to school. Yeah. Now it's like Canada Goose and Moncler, and
it's just crazy.
So it's scary.
And there's a whole different conversation to have where you kind of dig into the fact that, is your Canada Goose real? Is your Moncler real? You're just doing it because of the brand.
And it's actually sad, like, if you think about it, because that person, like, let's say they've got a fake version. They've done it literally just so
they can impress.
The man can be like,
because
cool jacket, man.
Because the idea is the jacket's supposed to keep you warm. So your jacket is not keeping you warm.
It's filled purpose.
It's not keeping you warm, but in order to fit in, you'd say Whereas you can just go to, like, a humble H&M, Zara, whatever.
Exactly, nice,
get a jacket,
proper nice
and then just
jacket.
be like, you know what, I can't afford it, but this is all I can. But yes, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, but I don't like where it's going.
So what do you advise to young people that look up to you, and like, what would you say just to rise above everything and just be you?
figure out what it is you want to do, yeah, which is very hard. I didn't figure out what I wanted to do till I was 24, and that's when I had my daughter, and that kind of put that battery in my back and said, listen, like, okay, you're wandering around aimlessly, cool, whatever. You have a daughter on the way. Fix up. That was the voice in my head telling me, fix up. Like, whatever it is you think you want to do, pursue it. If it's going to work, it's going to work. If it's not, it's not. But try. Do you know what I mean? So that's when Faded was like, okay, cool, this is me. And then any other stuff that I put my hands in, do you know what I mean? I made sure that if I'm not going to give him 100%, or let's say 90%, then I'm not doing it. And that's the kind of the ethos I've kind of lived by since I'm 23. When I was 20, I think 23, 24, I had a job where I was a debt collector. I was going to people's houses and collecting money. Literally, had my big jacket.
That's one of the hardest jobs ever.
Big jacket, black hat, got this big black face at your door. Hi, I'm coming to collect this week's paper. They're like, oh, 1 second. And some of these women are struggling to give me £5. Old men, 50p. Like, and I was like, no, I can't keep doing this. And when I tell you, my manager was a piece of, you know the word. I was like, but how do
they
you...
They tried to make you cold, didn't it? Basically.
Listen, I'm like, how do you... Like, the reason why I left, yeah, I'll tell you a story. So you go to people's houses. I tried to kind of... I was looking after the Chiswick area, W4. So you go to people's houses and the idea is you meet them... You try to meet them all in one day. I don't want to go back there to collect a £5 or just... So you have like 30 to maybe 100 people that you go check. You'd be surprised how many people are borrowing money from these people. There's no credit checks. It's literally, you sign a form, it's basically signing your life away. The APR was like 500 and something %. You miss a payment, but it's ridiculous. But the idea is, yeah, you go to their houses every week and you collect the money back. But then it gets to a point where like now, so November would be the time where I would refinance your loan. So I'd say, looking at your books, I could see you owe us £200. You have £200 left. What I could do is borrow you £1,000 now. So you have £800. So you've cleared that £200 debt, but you've now taken out £1,000 loan.
Wait, so you work directly for the loan company?
I worked for the loan company. I'm an agent for the company, yeah. So I'm going collecting money.
So you wasn't debt collection, you was the actual, like you was.
Yeah, I was doing both.
From the loan.
Yeah. So in order to boost my books, because remember, I'm taking a percentage of the money I collect. That's how they get you.
That's cold, Tazer, man.
Exactly. I know. So I think one woman, she had like £600 left, and some weird reason, she had the £600. Like her books was like a whole, I think about 30 weeks left, £20 each a week. She had £600 and she paid me off. I was like, what? So I phoned the boss. I was like, listen, this woman's cleared her whole debt. They're like, no, try, see if you can get her again. So I was like, oh, would you like to take out another loan? Obviously, Christmas, I'm selling it. Christmas is coming up. I can give you £2,000 now.
Wow.
She's thinking about it. She's like, nah, I'll let you know. So because she's come off my books, that's a customer gone. And there was another customer who's giving me like £150 a week. He's now sold his debt to another debt collector company. So they pay off his debt up front and then he now pays them. So it's got nothing to do with me now. So I'm like, oh, all my customers are dropping out. What do I do? So then I'm like, but I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't feel comfortable. I'm collecting like £400, £600 a week. I think I was taking... No, sorry, I'm collecting between 2,000, 3,000 a week. So then now my pay was like, you take 10% of what you've collected. So I'm taking home like £300, £400. Mm-hmm. I'm like, nah, this is dead. I said to my manager, listen, this is my last day. He was like, what? No, I said, listen, this is my last day. Well, what's the worst you're going to do? And I just walked out. I said, I can't do it no more. It didn't sit right with me. Mm-hmm. I did it for a piece because I was in a bad place. But then seeing other people in a bad place put things in perspective. I'm like, raw, I'm actually not in that much of a bad place. I'm just being lazy right now. Whereas there's some people that are actually in a bad place and this is what they've resorted. I haven't resorted to borrowing money from this company. So technically I'm still able to do stuff. Just apply yourself. And that's when I kind of just started for, you know what, let me focus on what I'm actually doing and see. Because that's one thing that my business partner always said. He said, do something you love and make it pay you. So for example, when we had Faded the first 2 years, we wanted to fly around the world, but we couldn't because we were taking money from Faded and spending it on flights. So then I couldn't do what I needed to do at home. So what happened was we decided to use Faded to fly us around the world. That's where Faded and Damn came about. That's where the collaboration.
That's the best businesses you can have. That's
where the collaboration in Croatia came about. That's when we done Faded in Barcelona because now we're being paid to fly out. Mm-hmm. That made more sense. And I was like, oh, snap. So you see people flying around the world and expensing it. I had no idea you could do that because it's part of their work. So when we finally started doing that, I was like, oh, this is sick. Now the business is paying us to go and do events abroad. Yeah. So that's just kind of opened the doors and made me kind of see the light in a different way. Then when we finally got an accountant as well, that's another story that, oh my God, that's another story. So we finally got an accountant. They done our books and they basically said to us that we're doing very well, but we owe a stupid amount of tax.
HMRC.
Yeah, but we had no idea. We were just
Well, you
coasting
didn't
through.
think like when you're making
Nah,
money?
you know when you're making money, yeah, and it's like £200 here. You're not thinking they're coming for you. Every time you watch the news, it's always millions. We're not nowhere near
You feel you
millions.
can just like hide a little
Yeah.
bit.
So our accountants kind of done our books and they were like, listen, for every £10 ticket you've sold, you're only supposed to keep £8 in your company. You've taken the whole £10 for 2 years. How many tickets have we sold? We probably sold about an average event sells 100 to 200 tickets. Some events have sold 1,000. Bear in mind, I'm doing faded once, twice a month in the beginning, moving towards some months I have 14.
So thousands of tickets basically.
Dumb. Our tax bill was like 5 figures. And HMRC wanted it immediately.
Straight away.
So what we had to do is any money that we made had to go straight to our tax bill. And by making that money, you're now generating new tax. We didn't pay ourselves for a year.
So you were stuck basically.
We were working, not paying ourselves for a whole year. You had to pay our tax
And that
bill.
was once you've made money as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like you're starting out. You've done it.
Yeah, we're like 2-3 years in. Nah. So the whole year after HMRC knocked our door and said, hey guys, we now realize you're a company that's making money. We want our piece of the pie. The whole 12 months after that, literally working, knowing that I'm not getting paid. So I'm at the door, hi guys, everything, knowing that all this money I've generated is not going into my pocket. Until the one day we got a phone call from our accountant and he was like, listen, got some good news. They're like, what? You paid off your tax bill? Oh my days. Listen, I could have rejoiced that day. So we're like, oh, moving forward, we could pay ourselves. He's like, yeah, you can do what you like.
How did you stay resilient during that time? When you were paying the tax man? Like what kept you going and not giving up? And surviving really.
I guess life's going to test you. And there's no point crumbling.
You seem like quite a laid back person with life.
Mad laid back. Listen, mad laid back. Things come, things happen, and I'm like, what can we do to fix it? Show me the solutions. I said, okay, cool, let's pick one and let's try. That's my thing. Like at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst HMRC is going to do? They're going to take their money and they're going to tell us to what? Disappear. Or we could just play by the rules, find out loopholes, and then find a way to make them happy and make ourselves happy at the same time. Like I'm not really one to just stress out and be like, oh my God, and panic and then not do the right. I'm literally, even when Corona hit and we realized that Boris is going to shut restaurants and bars, I was like, oh snap! I didn't get paid for the first 3 months of lockdown. No money coming in, but luckily I had a savings, so I was just dipping into my savings. But when you get lazy, one of my Uber Eats bill was like £600 for the month. I was just in my bed ordering Uber Eats.
£600 a month.
£600 that month. It's only when I said it out loud. Yeah, it's only when I said it out loud. I was like, wait, Tazer, what are you doing? So nah, this is like I didn't want to go Tesco, Sainsbury's. I couldn't be bothered. Literally, I'm hungry. Deliveroo, Uber Eats. Then when I finally calculated it, I said, wait, hold on. You know when you get that Monzo notification, gives you the roundup of your month. I said £600 on food. Oh my! I was trying to fix it. I'm like, no, come on, Taze, like fix that. Let's start going gym properly. And then he opened the gym. I was like, cool. Now the gyms are open. I can now shop, cook, and eat healthy. Now I have a reason to eat healthy because I'm going gym. So that kind of helped me. Gym keeps me sane sometimes. But sometimes when I'm just in my house, because I don't have a day-to-day schedule, I can get very complacent and just chill. So that's why I'm not here acting as if, oh my God, Monday I'm making money, Tuesday I'm making money. Nah, my life isn't like that. But there's times where when I'm about to make money, like for example, we've announced a live show and I know I have 6 weeks to promote, tunnel vision. And then the end result is when I come out on the stage and I see thousands of people waiting to see. But
you might as well promote a little bit.
I mean, I can promote the next show, but because of
before we go into the podcast, you might as well.
Because of COVID, it's in the air. So I don't know if I even want
the concept though. The concept.
Okay, so 3 Shots of Tequila live. We've got highlights on YouTube actually. So just search 3 Shots Tequila on YouTube. Watch all our videos. Search us on Spotify as well. Listen to the episode. But the live show is basically us coming on the stage in a live audience, and we're just playing games, having a conversation, talking about our lives really. And yeah, it's a hoot, should I say? It's a great show, man. We've done Bristol, we've done Leicester, we've done Birmingham, Manchester, London numerous times. We've done over about 40 live shows. So
Wow.
the stage fright is a myth now. Like I come on the stage and I feel like I'm at home, like in front of thousands of people. It's so comfortable now. But yeah, it's a great show. I mean, go on to YouTube, listen to the Spotify episodes talking about it, and you'll see. But yeah, John, if you want to get into the podcast.
Perfect segue to into the podcast. Now you said obviously you started in 2016.
Yeah, April.
And it just came from an idea. You thought, okay, let's do this. You went on Halfcast and you experienced it a little bit. But why podcasting? Like, why because at that time you was making a bit of money. You were doing Faded. Was there a strategic plan behind it, or was it just let's try it?
Let me not lie. There literally was just my main.
I love how you said "let me not lie."
Yeah, as in I'm not gonna lie and act as if there was a strategy behind it. I knew, didn't know what I was doing. Keeping it real. I just wanted to talk about stuff that I've been through. I felt like my life is very interesting, and when I'm speaking to my boys, they're like, "Nah, Tazer, you're lying." I used to get that all the time. Like I'll go out and the night would end some mad way. I'll tell the story the next day that Tazer, that never happened. I'm like, wait, this happened. So I'm sitting there thinking, wait, are other people not experiencing this? Is it just me? So when the podcast angle came, I wanted to do YouTube actually, but like even before we started, I was asking about the cameras. I haven't got into the hang of like setting up a camera, and I haven't got into the hang of that. So I'm like, this might be a bit tedious because who's going to do the editing? I'm going to have to pay a cameraman. Like, who's going to follow me everywhere? So then that's when I kind of saw podcasts, and I was like, wait, this sounds cool. I've been to a studio. I mean, I used to do music, so I've been to studio. I know what that means. Can't be difficult. So like I said, when I went on Halfcast, Chucky just literally switched that light bulb in my head. I was like, I'm definitely doing this. It's just a matter of who and when. So when I spoke to the other two guys, they were literally around having the same trail of thought as me, as in they wanted to kind of share stories, and the YouTube angle was a bit long. So podcasting. Also with Keith's sister introduced him to podcasts. So he was already doing his research with podcasting. Like he was deep in podcasting. So it was just
meant to be, really.
Yeah. So when we finally launched R1, it just made sense. Tequila came about because obviously that's my favorite drink. Like I said, I've traveled and just done madnesses with my boys. There's one time we went Berlin Wednesday. From Berlin went to Copenhagen Thursday. From Copenhagen went to Malmo Friday. From Malmo Friday went to Stockholm Saturday. From Stockholm Saturday went to Amsterdam. From Amsterdam back to London. Partying. We've basically followed Kevin Hart on his tour. His concert, I think it was 2017 or 2018. So we literally bought tickets to every single date and just travelled. And obviously, what was our drink that weekend? Tequila. So literally stuff like that is what I'll do. And it didn't even cost much. It cost like, I think it was like £30. Some flights were £15. Hotel rooms were £40.
When you're smart, you can get good.
Yeah. So I think the whole thing cost us, as in flight and hotels, cost us like £200. But it was sick. Yeah, but literally every night we're going to a different city, waking up, flying to a different city. Like it was just sick. So off the back of that, that's when I thought, I've got stories, man, I want to share. So the podcasting seemed to be the most feasible idea at the time. Made sense. Record every 2 weeks. Literally master the audio, upload.
Where was you going with it? Because you wanted to share your stories. Were you thinking about money? You were just thinking about. I just want to share my stories.
Just share my stories, and by doing the pod, I guess we could promote Faded, or they can promote their events, or the clothing line that I had. Just get people to engage. It's only until we done the live shows we started realizing, all right, cool, we can make money from this, and the money was all right. Cool. No one was podding then. You got to remember, no one was doing podcasts, and the people that were doing podcasts were like about a book or a movie. Like there wasn't just talking, because we were getting banter when we first started. This is a banter cast. Three guys just chatting shit. Aren't you lot grown? We were getting all of that. Then we started winning awards. I think we won 3 awards back to back to back. It's like, and then Then when we started tweeting our numbers, everyone said, "Well, you lot are lying. This doesn't make no sense."
Even going back to like when you first released it on SoundCloud and you got 7,000 listens on the first episode. How did you get 7,000 listens?
I couldn't tell you. We literally tweeted it the day we've decided to release. Hey guys, this is episode 1 of Free Shots. Hope you like it. Boom.
You know what I'm gonna call you? I'm gonna call you the call to action king. That's what you are, bro. Because there's so many people that have great following, they have actual like supporters and stuff, but when it comes to buying the product or even just listening to a podcast that's free, it's like they have to feel like they need to do it.
But to be fair, that's one thing I've always known how to do. Think about it with my events. I've always known how to sell. I know how to sell something. And literally,
I think you're just a credible person that people buy into whatever you're selling. essentially.
Yeah,
even if it's a free
because
podcast.
Keith and Marv always get onto me about that. They're like, sometimes you do stuff and it's kind of warped because you didn't do it because it was a good idea. Or no, sorry, it didn't work because it was a good idea. It worked because you're Tazer. And that's very hard for me to admit.
Which, maybe going back to the conversation we were having before, like, maybe you might have 30k followers, but
the engagement is like, when I go on holiday, I get up to 10,000 views on my story. And for someone who has 30,000,
there's people with 100k that aren't
yeah.
getting
So it's like, but when I say that, oh, you're lying, I'm like, I'm genuinely not lying. Like, I just know, and also I know how to kind of like sell me, because at the end of the day, it's my page. I've never done something that I don't want to do. Even when I did some TikTok promo video during Corona for Darko, and everyone's like, all of that attention you lot are giving me, it's all engagement at the end of the day. And I knew I was gonna get that. That's why I said, you know what, I'll be part of this campaign because it'll be funny. And I don't care if people laugh at me. That's another thing as well. I'm very, very sure of myself in the sense that I haven't done anything that I don't want to do. So if people find out, it's like, oh my God, no, I'm just like, listen, I'm dancing on Instagram. So what? What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Whatever, man. Like, I
think that's the thing. Like, you can probably, like, no disrespect to anyone, but there are very few people that are 100% authentic. I know for a fact Chucky's like that as well. And obviously, having met you, obviously I already kind of follow you and stuff like that. But having seen you in real life as well, you can see, you're just authentic.
That's why I relate to people like Chucky.
That's what works.
Dan. So I mean, I like people like that. Craig, because they're just Poe, Vuj, all of these people.
Just keep it real, yeah.
Just 100% them. Specs, 100% them.
And it might not work in the short term. Like, sometimes it takes longer for some people to build being themselves. But when you get there, then you build something real.
And it's that much sweeter because it's you. Like, look at Harry.
No gimmicks.
When I reached out to Harry was doing Talent Hunt. I was like, this guy's sick. Like, he reminds me of me.
the Link Up TV video.
Yeah, he reminds me of me, but without the camera. Like, I wouldn't do that on camera, but I'm like that with the man. Then we just bust through. Linked up with Harry. Harry, till this day, is probably one of the best episodes on Free Shots. He came and you would watch the episode thinking Harry was one of the man. This time, that was the first time we all met Harry.
We were in the studio with the plants.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
No one had met Harry before then.
Really?
That was the first time.
Okay, but I think I watched that one recently again.
That's one. Besides the Krypton Conan Love Island one, I think Harry's the most watched podcast on YouTube. As in for Free Shots. It just worked.
It fits.
I could just see the energy. He was just sick. I said, listen, he's coming to the studio. And remember, there's other people that haven't even been to the studio yet, but when these episodes come out, they're going to be mad. Specs, Poet, Chucky. Like, I'm not episode 225, haven't had Chucky in there. Because it has to be, it has to be organic. I'm not one to force it. When the day comes, it will come and it will happen. Do you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Cadet. We had Cadet in there. We've had...
You know, the episode that I think I first started really paying attention was the one where you had Krypton Conan.
Yeah, look, do you know how many...
That was like a good one to bring people in. Jack Fowler was on there.
Let me give you a funny story, with that episode, This is why I know, Free Shots was something special.
It was, It
because that episode was only supposed to be 5 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, in the contract.
What were you going to do in 5 minutes? Just quick
No. Universal came to us and they were like, we have this concept. We want to do a roundtable talk. It's only going to be 5 minutes to promote the song.
Okay.
The content was so sick on the day. They're like, nah, we need to push for the whole thing. By pushing for the whole thing, we had missed the promo week. The song was already out. So technically there was no point for this video to drop. Technically. But they were like, nah, this content's so sick. You've managed to draw this out of Jack, this out of Josh, this out of Wes, this out of Craig, this out of Conan. This has to come out. The song's already out. The song's probably already in the charts. They're like, nah, this has to go through. Still pushed it through. And then when it landed, everyone was like, nah, this is sick. This is sick. And then we had other people coming out with their own round tables. Because that's for us.
Just create special moments.
Yeah, for us it was more to do with, and Chucky's always been out. I will always hail up Chucky for this. It's a conversation. That's what it is. Chucky's always been leading that. I would never say Free Shots was the fam started it. I would always, me personally, like Keith is different, Marv is different. I'm talking based on me, Tazer. Chucky's always been a leader of that. Just want to have a conversation. Chucky just wants to talk to you, but he'll get something. There'll be a couple gems. Something people can learn from, something people might hate you for, something people might like you for. Like, he'll get something out of you that will make whoever your fan base are look at you different. And for that, I totally respect him. Yeah,
the UK is in a good place. So, going to the podcast, obviously as time went along, things started happening. You kept pushing because it was organic, it was real, and you just wanted to tell your stories. And then the Spotify deal came about. And I think that's when I think everyone stopped in the UK. It was like, wow.
Wow, something's going on over there.
Yeah, like they wanted to know, okay, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
and even though no one knew the figures or anything like that, which doesn't really matter anyway because it made sense to you guys, but it was just a concept that, wow, like a big corporation like Spotify, they're paying attention and they wanna get you on board. So how did that come about?
So Keith is friends with a guy called Austin, large up Austin, because Austin's actually opened doors for us. Big up Austin. He's not even at Spotify anymore. He's somewhere else now. But large up Austin's like one of the man them that kind of helped push Free Shots to where it is today. But yeah, so Keith and Austin have a good friendship. Austin was at Spotify at the time, and he was like, "You lot are doing sick." No, when we first came out with when Free Shots started getting traction, Austin had reached out to Keith and was like, "You lot are doing sick. I've got something for you if you're like interested. Just give me time." So whatever strings he was pulling over there, he was pulling, and it led to us going into Spotify, having a meeting, and them talking about wanting us on their platform exclusively. We didn't know what that meant. I mean, we're on SoundCloud, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify. We're already on Spotify, it is what it is, isn't it? But then when the deal came about, it made sense. And we understood why they wanted it exclusively on their platform. Obviously, fast forward now, this is 2016. Fast forward now, if you listen to like the whole Joe Budden situation, you kind of know what Spotify were trying to get at. Do you know what I mean? So I don't need to talk on that, but it made sense. So then obviously went to Spotify exclusively, and yeah, literally by doing that, promo wise, you got the billboards, and I know some of my exes were getting on the train thinking, why is Tazer's face on this flipping billboard? But literally, that's what kind of solidified that we're not just three guys chatting shit in a room. There's actually something here. And now I started seeing everyone, new podcast coming soon. Like when I say, look at it from my perspective, yeah. I'm doing a podcast here and I'm promoting it to people, and people are like, I can't bother to listen to what you have to say. And it's bullshit. Who cares what you have to say, Taze? Why do you think you're this guy? I'm getting all of that on my end, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm getting the people listening to it. I'm seeing that, but there's people that I actually mess with that are like, you know what? I don't promote my podcast anymore.
Really?
Nope. I can't tell you the last time I sent it to someone. I just put it out. If you listen, you listen. Like, it's got to that point because I don't want to lose friendships based on people feel uncomfortable telling me they don't listen. I'm like, I'm not forcing you to listen. Like, it's cool. I don't force anyone to listen. If you listen or you don't, it is what it is. Then I get some people who are on the other side of the spectrum that listen religiously. I cannot lie to these people because they'll tell me episode 68, 55th minute, you said, like, we have those kind of people as well. So there's a balance. Like, not everyone's going to like what you do. So I've realized that and I've accepted that. But by teaming up with Spotify, that turned what I was doing that's potentially a hobby into a serious job. But it's still a hobby. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But for the people for all the naysayers, it's like, if Spotify's working with these guys. Well, to be fair, BBC did that. When we got our 6-week gig on BBC, that kind of solidified it for a lot of people. Like, BBC work. I remember everyone respects the BBC.
Of course, yeah.
Some people more than others, but yeah. So, but BBC is
as a corporation,
as a corporation, it's like, you're working with the BBC.
It's a household name.
Exactly. So that kind of solidified it with some people. And then when Spotify came about, that was just like, alright, cool. What these guys are doing is a no-brainer. We can't just say they're just bantercasts anymore. They're actually changing the podcast game. We've got to give it to them. Whether you like me or not, we've got to give it to them.
So the truth is, like, a lot of people have been inspired by you, and yeah, podcasts are popping up left, right, centre. Now, podcasting isn't for everyone, and I think people will eventually realise that once they start doing it. It's not for everyone, because for you it's a hobby, for me it's a hobby, but there's a lot of people that do it because they want that Spotify deal, and realistically a lot of the time they won't get there because they're just chasing that. Yeah. But for any creatives, not just podcasters, because a lot of people look up to you as a public figure, a lot of people look up to you as a podcaster, a lot of people look up to you for Faded, all those kind of reasons. What would you advise, like, in terms of the early days, because you were grinding for free, working on the podcast, knowing that it wasn't making money at the start,
and also not knowing where money was coming from.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So how do you advise those people, because there's so many people that want the end goal, but they're not willing to put the work in? So what's some of the things that from your memory, like, you can say, okay, I did this, and so I would advise this?
Okay, so, and this is me being brutally honest, I've accepted shit deals purely because I want to prove myself. I need to know what I can do, and I'm not going to know how I'm doing it unless there's a deal put in front of me. So let me give you an example of what I mean. If I go to a venue now, this is events related. If I go to a venue now and the venue says, the bar spend I want you to hit, Tazer, with your event is 5K. I don't know if I can hit that. How will I not know? I might be able to. 5K might not sound like a big figure once 250 people's in there. Can I get 250 people in there? Now's the test. Do it and see. Pick a day that makes sense, like a Friday or Saturday. Don't pick a Tuesday and force 200 people to come out. Pick a day that makes sense. Friday or Saturday, maybe even a Sunday. Sundays now, I feel like even we're responsible for Sundays being the new day to come out as well. But that's a different story. Accept the day and then do everything in your power to fill out that venue. If you come up short, it's because it's you. Don't wake up the next day and think, oh, I could have done this better. I hate that. Do everything you can to fill out that venue. Now, once you've done that, find out your results the next day. He turns around and says, you only hit 4K. You average that. 200 people came, 4K means your crowd are a £20 a head type of crowd. What can I do to push this to £25, £30, £40, £50? You've got to do something so you have a baseline and then you can work from that. Some people don't even want to find out their baseline. It's like when you say you want to lose weight. How much do you weigh? I don't know. Figure out how much you weigh and figure out why you want to become 5 kg lighter and what it's going to take to become 5 kg lighter. When you find that out, now you can figure out whether you want to do it.
Now you have a reason.
Yeah, you got to be honest. You got to have a goal. Some people are doing stuff, yeah, and they don't get me wrong. People are signing deals, making money off Instagram, killing it, but they don't have a goal. So it's exciting, cool, it's good to look at.
It's for the moment.
Yeah, but what is your goal? Yeah, remember, everyone's goal changes, so don't get me wrong. Whatever your goal is today, it's definitely, this is a new thing that I've actually been saying to myself, subject to change. If I say something on this podcast today, you could record it and drop it tomorrow. I might not believe what I said on Thursday. It's the reality of things, that things change.
Life moves quick.
Yeah, so you might have a goal where it's like, I want to make 100K. Because you've given yourself that goal, you now figure out what ways to do it. You now might make 100K and be like, oh, right, I want 500K. Then you do whatever you were doing, but you do it times 5 to make that 500K.
But that's just that hunger.
Yeah, but...
So your goals can change.
Yeah, but you're saying, what would I say to these people? The main thing is, one, do what you like. Because you need a reason to wake up in the morning. And if the reason you wake up in the morning is to chase money, I can't lie to you. There's a dark side of this life, yeah, that you could easily step into if it's money that you want. But it's not. So be specific. What is it you want to do? I want to become a presenter. Cool. Are there any other presenters out there? Yes. What did they do? Have you done that? No. Why haven't you done that? Try that. Because if I search you on YouTube and you're not there, I don't know you want to be a presenter. So why would I come looking for you? Do you know what I mean? So you've done this, you've done that, you've done this, but it's still not working for you. All right, cool. What else can you do? Do you have an identity? What do you stand for? What do you stand for? Like, what are you? Are you a type of person that wants to present black stuff? Are you the type of person that wants to present Asian stuff? Because if BBC Asia Network phone you and say, hey, we've got a job for you, but you want to play black music, are you going to take that job? No. Don't say yes because it's BBC. Yeah. But then you get there and they're telling you play this and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Why did you take the job then? So figure out what it is you want to do. That's one. Once you figure out what you want to do, now there's certain jobs that you can say, okay, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. How do I get there? And I'm pretty sure if you went to anybody, someone slid in my DMs right now, I said, Tazer, I have a venue with 500 people. I want to fill it out. What do I do? And I say, have you done an event before? They say, no. Forget that 500 venue. Fill out venues of 50 capacity and sell it out. Sell it out. Sell it out to the point where you're losing money. Then upgrade to 100 capacity. Because now you have the demand.
The steps.
Yeah. Don't do a 500 capacity because your first event will always be your best event. That's one thing we've learned. Your second event is the hardest event because people see it as I've already been. And what you're going to do is you're going to focus on all the people that have already been and try to invite them again. And they'll tell you, listen, I've been already. Now you're stuck.
What's different now? Yeah.
Now you're stuck. Listen, I've been there. Where it's like the whole year faded. I'm consistently that's why I don't message people my stuff anymore because it's like I don't want to come across like I'm bombarding you with consistent broadcasts. If it's something new, then I'll broadcast you once. But apart from that, listen to it when you listen to it. But there was one faded where, so we did a whole year, then we've gone to the next year. So we've done Christmas. Now it's the new year, January, the quiet month. I've sent a broadcast to 200 people. I got 198 no's. Like, you know, like sometimes you might air a broadcast. No, these lot went out their way to tell me no. Christmas was heavy. I'm not coming. Only 2 people said maybe. No one said yes. I said, and the event's happening. The event's going ahead. So I went to the event at 11. I sat upstairs. I said, I can't face anybody. This is long. This is going to be a quiet event. We're going to lose money, but we're going to do Valentine's next month. We'll make it back. About 1:30, I'm hearing a lot of noise. I'm like, is there so much noise? I've gone downstairs. The venue is packed. I'm like, huh? I'm walking around the venue. I don't know one person. Faded has gone beyond me and my phone.
Wow.
It's out there now. It's the public that's telling me, or telling each other, yo, I want to go Faded. It's got nothing to do with Tazer runs Faded. Now it's just Faded is a brand.
Brands become known, yeah.
Exactly. So that was the day I realized that, yo, we just got to put it online. We don't know who's actually coming anymore. It's gone past my friends and family. So that's when I was like, oh, we're actually doing so. So now I owe you lot to consistently put on Faded, because someone's birthday is coming up and they're thinking Faded is going to be a good night. Or someone's celebrating a new job, or do you know what I mean? Faded is where,
Faded,
yeah. So that's now my responsibility to make sure that there's an event there where you might come and celebrate. And we've had someone propose to their missus once at one of my events. Literally, like there's so much things that's happened at Faded where it's like saying that there isn't a Faded anymore. It just doesn't sound normal anymore. It just doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like even if it's not making me money as it was before, I feel like I still have to do it, because it's like a lot of people have so many memories through Faded, and I just wouldn't want it to just disappear purely because I feel like it's not making me money anymore. I'd find a way to make me money, but Faded still has to exist.
It's crazy. You know, one thing I think we can all learn from you is I can tell that you've been through a lot and you've been through a lot of hardships, but you always keep a smile on your face. Maybe not necessarily always in the moment, but you are laid back, and you always try to find.
I just see it as did you? There's a meme, you know, that meme that says when you're in your friend's car and he's driving mad, and then he turns around and says, but did you die though? That's just how I see it. There's a lot of hard things that I've been through.
Could always be worse.
Could always be worse, yeah. So
That's
my thing is just be positive, because there's nothing, like 50 Cent said it once, if you've prayed for it, why are you still upset? Or why are you still in doubt? You've prayed for it. If you believe in God and you believe that he's going to deliver, it's going to happen. So that's just my thing.
No,
life's full of ups and downs, literally.
No, that's honestly such a good podcast. Like, we have to leave now, but
no, I understand. But that's the thing
I
about
could
podding.
go for another hour.
Yeah,
though.
no,
I know
same,
3 shots
same.
is 3 hours. Like, I was thinking,
No, same.
Might have to do a part 2 if you're up for it. But thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
For anyone that still doesn't know all about Tazer and wants to follow you and follow your journey and maybe listen to 3 Shots for the first time, what's the best place for them to follow you on?
All right, cool. So this is the plug-in section. So 3 Shots of Tequila on Spotify and YouTube, and then myself, Tazer Black, on Instagram and Twitter. But follow me on Instagram. I'm a lot more exciting there, because you can see what I'm doing, as opposed to Twitter where you get called out for tweeting the wrong things. So I don't really tweet much. All I do is tweet football stuff. But yeah, come to my events, fadedevents.com. Obviously, I'm bringing back 4Ts for anybody who remembers that. For anybody who doesn't, check that out. And I have my website coming soon. That's going to have all my stuff on there, tazerblack.com. So yeah, check me out.
Perfect. Tazer, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and if you're on Spotify and our podcast, be sure to follow as well. See you guys soon.